Gallia and I have been working on shake paws. We have 3 variations I'm going to show you. He knows fist bump, which is basically a version of shake where he uses his right paw on my right hand and we fist bump. The next version is high five, and it's going to be my left hand in his right paw. And he's going to reach up and touch my paw as in a high five. And then the opposite way, he's going to use his left paw on my right hand, and that's going to be called up high. And we're starting from the very beginning. I want to reward any movement of his paw towards my hand, regardless of foot at this point. So I would reward that, say yes. He knows there's a treat in my hand and he's going to paw at it to get it. So when he starts using the correct foot, I'm going to reward that one and not any other foot. So if I were to offer him this one and he used a different foot, he wouldn't get the treat. So I go fist bump and he puts his paw up. Fist bump. Yes. This time he puts his left paw up on my right hand, so he does not get the treat because that's not what we're asking for. Now he can get the treat. Then I say fist bump, and he puts his paw up, he gets yes. Alright, we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to, since we're using his right paw, and he's used to putting that one up, we're going to go to the high five and see if we can touch my flat hand higher up than the fist pump. Fist pump is basically at his chest, where a high five is going to be up. A little hard for a dachshund to do, but we'll get it higher up there. High five. Yes. Right. Sit. High five. Yes. All right. And the next part is moving to my right hand and his left paw in an up high. And basically we're going to wait for him to offer the correct foot. If he doesn't give it to me, reset. So he's putting up his wrong one. There, I'm going to go yes, he gets the treat on that one. If he were to offer me the wrong paw, he would get rewarded until he offers me the correct one. I'm going to have him do a couple in a row before I reward him. There he thought about bringing up the wrong paw. And I'm going to go to this one. Yes, I'm going to do fist bump. And I'm going to do this one. Up. Yes. So basically, if he were to offer you the incorrect paw, you would just wait for him to try something new and offer the other paw. So if I put this one up, there we go, good boy. And this one up. And see, I waited it out. He would get the treat once he put his paw in my hand. Which I'm out of cookies. Fist bump. Yes, good boy. Hi, we're going to teach Gallie to roll over. I'm going to use the verbal cue, roll over, and we're going to use a hand signal of a turning with the finger. And first start with your dog in a down position with your small treat in your right hand. Bring it back. Have him in a down. You're going to take your treat and lure him to his side by bringing his nose to his shoulder. Then slowly bringing it all the way over until he's back in the sternal position. That's when he gets his reward, because this is the end position you want him to be in. Do a complete rollover. Again, say roll over, and just start luring him over until he's sternal and he gets his treat. As he gets better, you're going to remove the treat from your hand. Hi. You're a good boy. Have him down, and you're just going to use your hand. Start using that finger to cue him to roll over. Again, here, down. You say roll over. You can start moving a little faster. Down. Then roll over. Yes. And treats. You want to start not being so close. See if he'll get the idea of the hand cue by just moving your finger. Yes. Eventually you'll be able to not have your hand cue right over his head. You should be able to move it to your side. Scally's to the point where I can start adding a little bit more distance with my hand signal and the lure position. Also, I give the verbal cue and see if it registers and see if he'll offer it with just a verbal cue before I give the hand cue a few seconds later. So he starts anticipating that verbal cue means the movement. And also I can start adding in a second rollover, or continue to do the motion and he should continue to roll over. So let's see what we can get with that. Down, roll over, so in a few days, continued work, we could get it to where the verbal cue actually mean the movement and to phase out the hand cue. The next trick we're going to teach Willa is to do a bow. We're going to call it ta-da. The final cue is going to be like a curtsy with one leg moving behind the other when we get to that position. We're going to start out slightly altered beginning, since she liked to lay down automatically. I figured this is a way that could keep her from lying down initially as she learned the position that I wanted her to be in. So I start with one of my legs in a straight position and one bent. I'm going to ask her to lure her head through the bent leg. That will push her head and shoulders down and make her elbows reach the floor, while keeping the straight leg will keep her butt in the air, and keep her from lying down. She's gotten herself in quite the position here. She wants to get started. All right. Initially, we're going to lure her into position. When her head goes down and her elbows hit either my leg or the floor, she gets clicked and rewarded. And then she's going to stay where she is. She knows she's in the right position, so she's going to stay there and get rewarded. The next step would be having both legs or one leg down. We're going to fade out the initial barrier, and we're going to not change it too much so that she understands the progression of the trick, that she still needs to bow and keep her butt in the air, and the legs will keep her from lying down, but this we can get her elbows to the floor. Alright, by bending over my legs. Good girl. Good girl. Alright. Each time you want to start using the cue word so that she understands the progression of the trick. It hasn't changed. Ta-da is what we're asking, and she will offer her elbows down and her butt up when I say that, and we'll move on to the next step. Which is taking away the barriers, but remaining close to the ground with a hand lure like I was doing before. So we're going to ask her to ta-da and click as soon as your elbows reach the ground. Ta-da. Good girl. Release. I'm going to use a release word so that she knows when the trick is over and she can get her reward, so she doesn't fall into a down accidentally. Free. Good girl. And she can get a treat then too, because free is another command. Ta-da! Good girl. Free. Good girl. We're going to next transition to a stand-up position. We're also going to use one, this may be difficult for them to understand the difference between you being close to the ground and you standing up now. So if she were to decide she wants to lie down, I'm going to use one foot, which then this foot will become part of my cue as it moves away into a curtsy. So she'll start watching this one, but it's going to keep her from lying down because I'm going to position it where her butt would be if she were to decide to lie down. So let's try the trick again. I'm going to go, ta-da! Here. Ready? Ta-da! My foot is in a position where if she were to lie down, it should stop her from doing that, make her think twice. Ta-da! Girl. Free. Again, I want to release her so that she knows when the trick is over and she doesn't go into a down. Ta-da! Good girl. Now I'm going to start using the keyword, and I'm going to try to add the foot movement I would like to use for the cue. And basically, I'm going to phase out the hand lure and use more of a body that'll push her into a down position, and then she'll be focusing more on what my leg is doing than what my hand is doing. Willa. Ready? Ta-da! Good girl. Free. As for duration, next, when she gets more comfortable, holding the bow before you release her. Ta-da! Free. Good girl. Ta-da! Good girl. I'm going to start dropping some treats there in position so that she will stay where she needs to be. Free. And get a little bit more duration that way. Free. Ta-da! Good girl. I start treating her on the floor instead of out of my hands. She can eat up all the crumbs. Free. Good girl. We're going to work on Say Your Prayers with Willa. I got my treats handy, and we're going to use the yes as a marker word instead of a clicker, since we're going to have our hands full with her maneuvering. We're going to start with having her paws up on my arm. We're going to have her do that at a sit, and then we're going to have her do it at a stand. And then we're going to move up to the stool where she can say her prayers up there. So first, we're going to put some treats as a lure in our right hand, and I'm going to offer her my left arm. Can you sit? I'm going to ask her to pause up. When she puts both paws up, she gets a treat. Good girl. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. All right, the next step is going to be to lure her nose down between her legs and rewarding her when she puts her nose down. Okay. Sit. Pause up. Yes. She gets the treat when her nose is between her legs. I'm going to start using the cue words. The cue words are going to be, what'd you do? Pause up. Yes. What'd you do? Good girl. Yes, good girl. All right. Since she's got it down at that point and she wants to do it at a stand anyway, we're going to ask her to pause up. What'd you do? Good girl. And again, you're going to start with just offering a treat for paws up. Lure her nose between her legs. Reward her in position. Good girl. Good girl. Next, we're going to move up to a stool. I'm going to brace it against something a little bit because it may wobble a little bit as she's getting up and down on it. Same concept. I'm going to ask her to paws up. Good girl. And reward her for putting her paws up. Good girl. Then we're going to start transferring the hand to the left hand. Slowly move it down under the stool and reward her when her nose goes between her legs. Yes. Good girl. And again, we're going to say paws up. And I'm going to start offering, what'd you do? Good girl. Uh-oh. Paws up. What'd you do? Uh-oh. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. And then you'll be able to transition paws up to other surfaces. Let's see if we can move it up to the back of the chair. Let's see. You paws up? Yes. What'd you do? Good girl. Uh-oh. What'd you do? Good girl. Today we're going to teach Willa to weave through my legs. We're going to call it through, and the cue is eventually going to just be me moving my legs forward and back, giving her an opening to go through. That's her cue. So first we're going to start with her on my left side. And I'm going to have a couple treats in each hand, so as I move through, I am ready to reward her when she gets in position. The reward position is going to be when she's completely at my side and not in between my legs anymore. So first we're going to say through. I'm going to bring my leg forward. I'm going to lure her with the treat. She'll get the treat when she's all the way onto my right side. Through. Lure her through. She gets the treat when she's at my left side. Through. Wait it out. Good girl. Through. Good girl. So basically, you're going to lure her into position. Good girl. Fade away the treat lure and just using the hands. So now I'm going to use my leg and just use my flat hand. And when she touches my hand, she'll get the treat. Again, through. Yes, good girl. So basically your hand is just reminding her the direction that she needs to move in. Good girl. And then the last step is to take away the hands signals and just use your verbal and leg cues. Through. Yes. Through. Uh-oh. Through. If they get stuck, just remind them again. Give them the treat in the position you want them. Through. Yes. Through. Good girl. Through. About every 3 or 4 times, I'll reward her. Go back. Through. So she doesn't get discouraged and she knows she's doing the right thing. Through. Yes. All right. Once she's gotten that pretty well understood, we can start putting movements and having her weave through your legs at a walk. As I move forward, she's going to step through. Yes. I'm going to reward her each time she gets to my left side. Yes. Good girl. That is the progression of weaving through your legs, doing a figure eight at a standstill, and then a leg weave as you're moving.